Y'all know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
What's going on, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Today I want to address a question that I've heard from a few athletes, I've heard from a few entrepreneurs, I've heard from some business professionals. They ask about some things that they read in a book that I recommend myself. The book is called Relentless by Tim Grover. I'm sure many of you have read the book. I mentioned it in my top five recommended books outside of my own books on my podcast, which is called Work on Your Game. If you haven't heard my podcast, subscribe to it every day. It is the best podcast out. And people ask, well, Dre, how do you, sometimes athletes will ask me in the comments or on Twitter, or somebody will say something, well, Dre, do you think you're a cleaner? By the definition of, if you read the book Relentless, you know what I'm talking about when Tim Grover talks about these three levels of people. You got the coolers, you got the closers, and the cleaner. The cleaner being the highest level, the leader, the most tough person, the person who holds himself to the highest standard, makes everybody else lift up to this standard. If you haven't read the book, read the book. I recommend the book to everyone, even if you don't play sports. But people will say, Dre, do you think you're a cleaner? Or do you think LeBron James is a cleaner now? You think this guy's a cleaner? Or they'll say, well, Dre, what if I don't think I'm a cleaner? I read the book and I like what he says in the book, but I don't feel like I'm really up to the standard of being a quote unquote cleaner. Is that a bad thing? How do I become this person? What changes do I need to make? I feel like I can't be this type of person. What does it mean, Dre? What am I supposed to do? I'm going to explain to you what you need to do, what you need to, not even what you need to do, what you need to understand about what is written in that book or any other book when it comes to these standards or these standards of measure that get put out there in the book. First thing is, I already told you, I recommend the book to people. I love the book. I recommend the book to people who own businesses. I recommend it to athletes, even if you don't play basketball. It is a great book about the mindset of mental toughness, the mindset of discipline, a mindset of overall leadership that can apply to anything, even outside of sports. However, this is what all of you who have read the book and maybe you're struggling with figuring out which category you fit into, or maybe you feel, I don't know, somewhat negative about yourself because you feel like you don't fit into a certain category. Here's the first thing you need to understand. A book, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care who wrote the book. I don't care if Jesus Christ wrote the book, or I wrote the book, or Tim Grover wrote the book, or Drake wrote the book, or Kyrie Irving wrote the book. A book is not the standard you need to measure yourself by in life. You don't measure yourself by the standards that someone else wrote a book on. Okay, when Tim Grover wrote the book, he said, this type of person, this type of person, this type of person, you don't need to fit into one of these three boxes. Okay, I'm this, or no, I'm this, or this guy's this. You don't need to fit into a box of what somebody else wrote in the book. Okay, a book is not written to tell you who you need to be. Let me say that one more time. No book is written to tell you who you need to be as a person, or how you need to think as a person, or even what you need to do as a person. A book is written as a suggestion of, this is how you can understand this. I want you to understand the mindset of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. So let me write this book so you can understand how he related to him and how this person related to this person. Listen, there's some very successful people who will fall into the closer category. You can look around at life and try to figure out who they are, or you can just not even have to. And by the time I get through with this video, you'll understand why you don't have to. But understand, this is the first point. A book is not written to be a prescription for you. All right, you need to be like this. And if you're not like this, then there's something wrong with you because you're only this one. And if you do these things, then that means you're in this category, which means you're a complete loser. That's not what a book is written for. And actually, let me not even say what a book is written for, unless it's a book that I wrote. I can't tell you what he wrote the book for. It's his book. All right, you can ask him if you want to ask him. But don't read a book and then think, okay, I have to live up to these standards because that's what's written in the book and it's a great book and all these people recommend it. Listen, you still got to be who you are. And that moves me right into my second point. Who you are in life is not determined by what somebody else says. And I don't care how powerful they are, how successful, how famous, how many followers they got on Instagram. Listen, what somebody else says is not the prescription for who you need to be. What they say about this guy, if Tim Grover comes on an interview and he talks about how Michael Jordan was so tough and how he always showed up and how he would get up, he would work out with Tim Grover at 5, 6, or 7 every single morning. I've read the book. I know the quotes people like to use out of the book. Listen, that doesn't mean you need to do that. Now, if you want to do that, then you can go ahead and do it, but it doesn't mean you need to, because your name is not Michael Jordan. Your name is whatever your name is. Tim Grover's name is whatever Tim Grover's name is. That's what worked for them. That's what got them the results, but that may not be your situation. That may not be what works best for you. You may get really great results at what you do, doing it a completely different way. And it doesn't make you wrong to do it something that's opposite the book, and it doesn't make them wrong that you reach success without doing what's in the book. So understand, and this goes hand in hand with point number one, a book is not a prescription for who you need to be as a person or what you need to do, or even definitely not how you need to think. And here's the third point you got to understand. Okay, what is written in a book, ladies and gentlemen, is just information. It is information, it is an inference, it is a concept, it is an idea, it is an experience of the person who wrote the book. That's all it is. When I write books, the Mental Handbook, the Super You, all those are my perspective on mental toughness. The Mirror Motivation is my perspective on discipline. Super You, my perspective on confidence. This is what I know about it. This is what worked for me. This is where I was at. This is the changes that I went through. This is how I did it, and this is the result that came out on the other end. This is what worked for me. When I'm presenting you this information, even in a YouTube video, whether if I go give a keynote speech and my podcast and a blog post and something I post on social media, I'm telling you what my experience was. This is where I was. This is what I saw as a problem. This is the change. These are the changes I made. This is how I made the changes. This is what came out on the other end. That's what I'm telling you from my perspective. How do you know it's my perspective? Because I'm the one in the video. I'm the one whose name is on the cover of the book. I'm the one who is my blog you're reading is on my website. I'm the one who wrote it. So it's my perspective. Okay, so what you need to do, and I've been saying this for years with the basketball training videos, is every video that I put out, whether it's basketball, non-basketball, is not a prescription for you. It doesn't mean, okay, if you don't do this that I'm saying, then you're wrong, or you're bad, or you're a loser, or you're not mentally tough, or you'll never be confident, or you can never be disciplined, or you can never reach success in life. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying when I put this stuff out, and this is the way you need to look at anything anybody puts out, whether it's a YouTuber, whether it's an author, whether you go to some conference and somebody is speaking, whether you go sign up for somebody's free webinar or their PDF, or even if you pay for their online course, you need to take what that person is sharing, whatever it is, whatever format they share it in, whatever the subject, take what that person is sharing and ask yourself, with this person is sharing, with this information, because obviously they said this is what they came from here and they got this result to get here, how can I use this for my own circumstance? How can I use this for my situation? How does what Tim Grover say in this book apply to who I am as a person? How does what Dre says in this YouTube video apply to what I'm going through right now? How does what this drill that Dre did in the signature manuals, how does this apply to, how can I use this to apply it to my game based on the kind of skills that I have? See, when you watch me in a YouTube video, listen, I'm a certain size, I'm a certain weight, my body works a certain way, I have certain physical capabilities. You may be completely different. You might jump higher than me. You might not jump as high. You might be taller, shorter. You might have different levels of agility. You might be in a different type of shape. You might have a different game already by the time you saw me. You don't need to become me. You don't need to become Kyrie. You don't need to become Steph Curry. You can't, first of all, but even if you tried, but you don't need to. What you need to do is take what you see from another person whom you deem to be successful or smart or interesting or entertaining or well-informed, whatever position you see this person, the reason why you're looking up to them or whoever, you need to look at that person and say, what is this person doing? What has this person done? What has this person been through? What does this person share that I can take a piece and use it for myself? Let me repeat that one more time. And this is, again, you're going to apply this to all forms of media, books, social media, webinars, online courses, speeches, YouTube videos, anything you get from another person is not you, okay? Anyone create anything, I don't care who they are. You're going to ask yourself, what can I take from what this person is sharing and apply it to my situation based on who I am, based on what I'm going through, based on my circumstances, based on how my life is going. Okay, if someone comes out and says, well, I've been through this, and this is what I did, and this is how I got the result. Listen, you might not have been through none of that stuff. So you can't take 100% of what this person did because, listen, you ain't been where they've been. You're not them. You're not living their life. Your life might be completely different at that same point that theirs was at this point. Which doesn't mean that what they're sharing is completely useless. It just means you got to be smart enough to look at it and say, okay, what can I take from this and use to my own advantage? And you may think with the verbiage that I'm using there that maybe you're doing something wrong, but not at all. When someone puts something out there, when I put these YouTube videos out there, I'm giving this to you. I'm giving this to you to take. And you don't have to agree with everything I say. You don't have to apply everything that I'm telling you. You can watch 100 of my drills and you can say, you know what, Dre, I watched 100 of your drills. Listen, 20 of them I'm going to use for my game. The other 80 are not really for me. There's nothing wrong with that. Because why? You ain't me. You got to take what works for you. If 95 of 100 drills work for you, then do the 95, leave out the 5. If all of them work for you, then listen, do all of them, use them, apply them. But it's not about you trying to be like somebody else. It's not a prescription what somebody else said, what somebody else did, what somebody else has been through. You don't need to measure up to that. And I'm telling you all this to understand. Like when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, especially in basketball, because that was the thing that I was paying the most attention to. And I know a lot of young people, whatever it is, it might not be basketball, maybe it's baseball, soccer, maybe it's school, maybe it's starting a business, maybe it's, I don't know, being a professional, maybe it's starting a family. You're impressionable. Impressionable meaning you look at what other people are doing who are, for whatever reason, you look up to them. Maybe they're a father figure, maybe they have a certain amount of money, maybe they got a certain amount of following on the internet. You look at this person, you're like, damn, this person is like the standard of success, or the standard of how to be confident, or the standard of how to speak, or the standard of how to do YouTube videos, or whatever it is you look up to this person for, and you start looking at them, and then you look at you, and then you look at them, and then you look at you, and you're like, okay, this person has all these things that I don't have. How can I change myself to be more like this person so I can emulate their success? Let me help you out here. First of all, you will never emulate another person fully. Your success is not their success, and their success is not your success. You create your success, first of all, based on who you are and what you want, not what they want, not what they tell you you should want. Don't ever let anyone tell you what your goals should be, what you should be going after, what you're capable of. That's all for you to figure out. And if you need to turn off YouTube, turn off your phone, turn off the radio or the TV or the video game so you can sit and just think who you are, what you're about, what you want, then you need to take that time out, because that's the most important thing in your life. What do I want? If you don't know what you want, you can do a whole lot of things and achieve a whole bunch of stuff, but if none of them is what you want, are you really successful? No. So you got to get clear on what you want. Okay, just because somebody else wrote a book on mental toughness, or someone else wrote a book on, hey, this is how Kobe Bryant was, that don't mean you got to do it. Is your name Kobe Bryant? Okay, how many Kobe Bryants do you know of? I only know of one. Okay, yes, Kobe Bryant was great, but he wasn't the only great basketball player in history. Okay, Bill Gates is a great businessman. He's not the only great businessman in history. There are different ways to become successful, and this is the last thing I'll leave you with. Most of you, 99% of you, actually, I'm not even gonna say 99%, I'm gonna say 100% of the people watching this video right now, if you are going to go on and become successful in life in anything you do, this is not just for young people. You don't have to be 12 or 19 for this to apply to you. You could be 49, you could be 65. I'm still talking to you. If you're going to go on and become successful, quote unquote successful, because you define your own success in life, with whatever time you got left on this planet, I'm guaranteeing you 100% that your success will be based on who you are. It's not going to be based on what Tim Grover said in the book, or what Tony Robbins said at his conference, or what E.T. said in the video, or what Dre said in some blog post. It's going to be based on what you think about yourself. And you may take a piece from this guy, a piece from that guy. You might take 30% of this person, 20% of this girl over here, 10% of this, 1% from this person right here. You put that all together, and then you mix it all in with who you are, which is the most important point. That's where the success comes. But it's not about what somebody else said, what somebody else thinks, or what somebody else described this other successful person as. Look, that's cool. Take what you need to take from it, but you still got to come back home. You understand? When you go out, you take what you want to take from here. Here's like going grocery shopping. You take what you want to take from each aisle. It's like from a book, or this YouTuber, this keynote speaker, this speaker over here, this other YouTuber, this book right here, this blog post over here. You take everything you want to take, you put it in the cart, you get home, you cook it all up, and you even make it into a great meal, but the meal itself is not success. Or just having the meal is not success. The success is when you take the meal, you eat it, and then because you ate it, it mixed in with who you are, which is way bigger than everything that's in that meal. That's where the success comes from. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.